Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to our team call on Sunday, August 19th. Super excited that you guys took time out of your beautiful day and evening to spend with us. This month has been good, but how many of you know that the month, there's Amy, the month feels a little bit slow. Is anybody else feeling that? Business has been a little slow, although we do have some people that are adding, so yay. We're excited about that. So, but I just want to share with you something. I was reading the Bible there she is. I was reading the Bible. We just started, Amy. I was reading the Bible a couple days ago on my 1-year Bible. And I was going to actually do a live on our team page or do a post, but I just felt like I was supposed to wait. And so I wanted to share it with you guys tonight, what I really feel like God put on my heart for us, specifically for our team. And so it was in Corinthians, and this is a letter that Paul wrote to the church in Corinth. And it's in chapter 9 and 10. And so this is chapter 9, verse 22. I'm going to start with 22 because I want you to get the context of this, okay? So Paul is saying, when I'm with those who are weak, I share their weakness, for I want to bring the weak to Christ. Yes, I try to find common ground with everyone, doing everything I can. Doing everything I can to save some. I do everything to spread the good news and share in its blessings. Verse 24 is what really jumped out of the page to me. Don't you realize that in a race, everyone runs, but only one person gets the prize? So run to win. All athletes are disciplined in their training. They do it to win a prize that will fade away, but we do it for eternal prize. So I run with purpose in every step. I am not just shadow boxing. I discipline my body like an athlete, training it to do what it should. Otherwise, I feel that after preaching to others, I myself might be disqualified. Now, obviously, he's talking about the heavenly prize, right? Salvation, souls. That is the ultimate, okay? But we're going to bring it to, I felt like God had that jump off the page to me for specifically for this team right now in this season. And this is what it is. Run to win. Oh, it's fine, Danielle. No worries. Run to win. Don't just sit and wait for something good to happen in your businesses. And I can tell you, I've shared pretty vulnerably with you guys, and that's really my heart, to be honest and share with you from where I'm at, because I feel like that's how we learn and we grow and become encouraged. But for me, there have been so many times in this journey, just in this Plexus journey, that I have been discouraged and that I wanted to quit. There have been so many times that I've wanted to quit. Amy knows, because I've shared those times with her. It's literally been like this. And it's very interesting because this Plexus journey has paralleled ministry life in so many ways for me, because there's always good things happening, but there's always things that will cause you to be frustrated, right? So there's people that are getting good results in their products, but then there's always people that are either turning their shipment off, or that quitting because their products don't work, or getting no's, right? Constantly. Sometimes the no's are not very nice. Sometimes the responses are no. And every time I get that, I think, could you just not be nice and say, sure, I'll look at the information, right? What is my point? My point is this. You and I both, all of us together, we always say, set your goals. Yes, we set our goals, but we need to just make the decision now. I'm going to run to win this race. And my win might not be your win. And your win might not be my win. Your win might be your groceries. Your win might be able to be generous to some organization or to help people. Your win might be to get a vehicle. Your win might be a trip. So I'm not going to tell you what your win is, but I know what my win is, and you know what your win is, right? The point is that we want to run to win the race. And so maybe you look and you think, I'm not even close to getting on that boat for Leaders Retreat. That's okay, right? But run to win, okay? Run to win. If you don't win and get on that Leaders Retreat, you're even further along. It's really like in our spiritual walk. If I were to look I remember one time I was praying when we had first moved to Portland to plant our first church, right? That's what an entrepreneur is. People that plant churches and ministry are entrepreneurs. They have an entrepreneurial spirit. They do things that are hard that most people don't do. That's exactly what you do in your business. You're doing what most people don't do. It's hard and people will talk negatively about you, but you do it. And when you win, when you do it to win, trust me, the fruit is tasty. The fruit is worth it in the end, okay? Because we're reaping fruits in our ministry with our team that we get to do life with, that if we had given up 20 years ago when it was hard, I wouldn't know Amy. I wouldn't know all the people that I'm blessed in our church to know in the lives that have been touched if I had been so sensitive back then and given up. I remember I was praying one time and I said, God, I just want you to show me everything that's wrong with me. I remember exactly where I was. I was walking and praying because that's how I pray. I'll walk. God, just show me everything that's wrong with me so I can change it. And that still small voice, the Holy Spirit, I just heard him gently say, Lisa, I can't tell you everything right now because you couldn't handle it. But you know what he did? He tells me one thing at a time as I read his word, and he would show me one thing, this attitude isn't right. You got to make these adjustments. It's the same way in our business. We're not going to worry about biting off too much to chew. I'm going to run the race and I'm going to do those IPA challenges. I'm going to do the reach outs even when I'm tired and I don't feel like it. And Amy and I were just talking today. I feel like so many times we think about our perfect day in our business, right? And that would be beautiful if we could have our perfect day in our schedule, but don't discount the 10 or 15 minutes when you're exhausted, when you can just quickly fit in that response or quickly write that card and send that sample. One of my weaknesses has been sending stuff, like literally it has been a weakness. So I remember when my first coach that I had when I became senior Ruby before I hit Emerald, he's no longer with Plexus, but one of the things he helped me with was starting to do those. I've been sending literally samples, and every time I get, and that's just my thing right now, I'm asking people that have given me crickets that I've reached out to twice. This is what I say, my last ditch effort. Hey, would you like a sample? I'm sending them out. And you know what people are telling me? Sure, I'll like a sample. So I might get 1 out of 10 say yes. And I just had that happen the other day. My point is this: I'm running to win the race. I'm really purposeful. I'm trying to be purposeful and following through and doing the things that I need to do and not quit. My win is not your win, and that's okay. So we're not going to compare ourselves. My win might be something completely different than yours, but it does not discount your win. Your win, we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate all that together, but we can't if we don't run to win this race. We got to discipline our mind. And this right here is the biggest thing. It's like when Amy was training for her marathon, we were seeing her do crazy things that we were all proud of her and praying for her and rooting her on. But she was doing things to discipline her body. And in that same way, we get to discipline our mind, because how many times do we think it's not worth it? They're going to say, no, I don't have the time. This is never going to amount to anything. Guess what? Yes, it will. We got to change this. This is what we've got to work on to win the race. So I just wanted to share with you guys my heart, because literally we are praying that the leaders on our team, we are praying. Justin and Megan are praying. We are all praying for each one of us. It's not by accident that people join this team. It's not by accident. We believe that when they join this team, they just get to be part of us, and we pray. I pray over everybody's friendships, relationships, marriages, finances, spiritual walk, their businesses. And I know Amy does the same. I mean, it is our mission to do that, but we got to plant our feet in the ground. It's been a slow summer. It has. We've had gorgeous weather here locally in Maine. It's been slow. Oh, well, we're going to just do this. Summer's getting over with. We're going to pick ourselves up by our big girl panties, boot pants, and big guys boot, right? The guys that are watching, I shouldn't have said that because we got guys on here. I wish I could edit that. Anyways, we're going to pick ourselves up by our bootstraps is what I should have said. And we are going to do what we need to do, because we're doing this as a team. And I'm preaching to myself as well. There are some of you on here that think that you're never going to hit gold. Some of you that are watching, or that you're never going to hit gold. You're never going to hit ruby. You feel like you're stalled out. Yes, you will. You're going to do what you think you're going to do. And if you switch that mindset and you say, I'm going to run to win, we're going to lock arms together and we're going to start celebrating you. And we're going to see amazing things together, guys. I'm super excited about what this next season has in store. So on that note, we're revved up and we're ready to hear what's going to be happening. So Amy, take it away.
First of all, have we congratulated Beth on her Plexus baby yet? Have we had a Zoom with Beth's baby? Can you show us your baby, Beth? Look at this. This is a Plexus baby. This is her. Hey, Beth, will you take like 30 seconds and share like your baby story from, your first 2 pregnancies and this? I don't know if everybody knows your story.
Yes. Let me go in here quickly. Hold on 1 second, sorry.
Sorry, I totally put her on the spot, but she has a testimony of someone on our team of diabetes and a healthy pregnancy when the first 2, they were not going to have any more babies. Enter Plexus.
Yes. Okay, so, sorry. Okay, so yes, this is my 3rd baby. My first pregnancy was kind of rough. It was just kind of rough. My blood sugars were a little bit wacky. They just got increasingly worse, to the end. So my daughter was born. I was super exhausted. And then I got pregnant with my son like 2 years later. And that pregnancy was horrific. Like it didn't matter. I was giving myself an insane amount of insulin daily. I was exhausted. It was like, wake up, put on Curious George for my daughter, sleep all morning, sleep when she took her nap, wake up, and just barely make it till bedtime. And it didn't matter what I did. I had no energy to even not even exercise, clean my house, even just moving around will help my blood sugars kind of, stable out. And I couldn't even do that. I was just exhausted. And so he was born, and we decided that my health wasn't worth the risk of having more kids. And then in November, surprise, we found out we were pregnant again. And the biggest thing was my blood sugars, and controlling my blood sugars the best that I could, and having energy, because now I had 2 kids that I had to chase. And so Amy actually gave me a week's worth sample. And I think it was about day 3. I have an insulin pump, and I have what's called a CGM, a continuous glucose monitor. And so it's like a little graph on my pump. And I could see my blood sugars. It checks my blood sugars about every 5 minutes. And so they were like mountains because of the hormones. They were just like mountains. So on day 3, they started to look like rolling hills. And they were right in my my target range. They were right in my target range. And I was like, there's something to this. This is amazing. And so that, and the other thing too was I had I don't know, this is super personal, but a lot of constipation in my pregnancies. That was typically my first signal that I was pregnant. It was really bad. And the only time that I had an issue with this pregnancy was when I ran out of BioCleanse for 3 or 4 days. Other than that, it was night and day. And my energy, I could probably I don't want to say count on one hand, but I had way more days where I had energy than days where I was dragging and exhausted. It's just been night and day. So this is my Plexus baby, and he is super healthy, and it was my best pregnancy out of all 3. So yeah, it was amazing, and I'm just so grateful for these products. And Amy, I'm so grateful for you.
I love that story, because I feel like just on our own little tiny team, well, it's not tiny, our Emerald team, we have some epic testimonials just from people on our team. So, and I think it's good when we share each other's stories, because we can say this is my friend. I know her. She is in my life, and it's changed her life. I feel like that holds even more water than some diamond who lives in Kansas. You know what I mean? So I love that. I love that story. And congratulations officially from us. So I want to know how many of you guys were able to listen in on the Rachel Hollis live thing that Jessica Heffley shared on her. Actually, it had to be moved over to YouTube because there were so many issues with that. I just want to share really briefly just a couple of takeaways from that, because I know it was like great smack in the middle of the day and a lot of people worked, and it's just it wasn't great time of day. She's written a book, Girl Wash Your Face. She's gotten actually really, really popular because she used to have I can't remember the tip of my head what she did, but she gave away like content of value for years and years and years, intentionally spoke into women's lives, like just offered like household tips, decorating tips, meal tips, things that like just intentionally added value to people's lives for years. So when she all of a sudden wrote a book, like her audience showed up. And just like, that's why she said on her call, she's like, you're seeing this overwhelming support for me in my book, because what I've intentionally done for years is I've tried to add value to people's lives. And that really struck a note with me. Like, shouldn't that be what we are trying to do in our lives on the daily anyway? Adding value to people who we come in contact with, right? If our whole focus in doing Plexus is just to get a sale, then even if we're successful, I don't feel like we're successful. If our goal should be so much more than just the dollar and the sale. And I loved where her focus was on choosing to add value to people's lives, and people are going to see that, right? And so basically she just kind of took questions from people. She took questions from the masses. And one of the common questions across the board was like, how do you handle rejection? And so I thought that was really good, because that's, I feel like, a common across the board issue that we tend to have. And she said, if we internalize and we connect, that's what we say all the time, if we connect a no to our products, to our value that we place on ourselves, we have got to do some massive retraining our brain, right? A no to our products and a no to our business is not a no to us. And think how many times you've said no to somebody. I had 2 people just this week ask if I'd be part of an Usborne book party. And I said, I'm going to shoot straight with you. You can add me to the group, but I'm horrible at these participations. And I have like a library in my house. So, you know what I mean? But I like her, I'm just being honest, you know what I mean? And so, but I've learned not to connect that value, you know what I mean? Don't connect the no to your value. Do not tie your self-worth in with rejection. If you do, you will not survive with this, right? Because the goal should be several no's a day. Because if we get several no's a day, then hopefully we're getting a few yeses in there as well, And then I've heard Jessica Heffley say this in recent weeks as well, so I'm assuming she maybe get it from Rachel Hollis, but she said, someone else's opinion of you is none of your business. Worrying about what people think of you is none of your business. That should not even be in your brain. Honestly. And I think that is so good. Like your Facebook presence, your presence with how you live your life, it doesn't matter what other people think, and they're going to have opinions. So if you're going to have to, in your brain, like Lisa said, our brain can be so squirrely and so messed up. So Justin Goff, I had a training call with him, and he always says, please God, please your wife, and do what you please. He's like, everything else is like details, And so if we can kind of do that in our minds, like, my people who are near and dear to me, their opinion of me matters. Everyone else is kind of a little bit of details. I am a recovering people pleaser, but I'm doing right now, I'm putting myself out in the world as you guys all are right now. And there are opinions, but it's none of my business. And I'm going to do what I feel like I'm supposed to do in all of life, not just Plexus. Do you know what I mean? So I thought that was really, really good. One of the questions people asked is, how do I get my people excited? How do I get my team motivated? And she's like, you cannot change anyone. The only person that you can change is yourself. You can't make anybody do anything at all, but you can change yourself. You can be inspiring yourself. You can motivate yourself, and you can run, and your team watching you will become motivated and inspired. Or maybe they won't be, but other people will be, and they'll start to follow you. You know what I mean? So the goal is to like change you, work on you. And that struck a chord with me too. Like I always got to be working on me. And then one last little thing that she talked about was, too bad I couldn't read my writing. Oh, get over your fear of failure. She's like, the road to success, typically, if we see Jessica Heffley, who's a diamond, we see Megan Goff, who's a diamond. The road to success looks like this: failure, 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 success. So you see someone standing on the mountain of success. She's like, they're successful because they are standing on top of their failures rather than allowing themselves to be buried underneath them. And I thought that was really, really good, right? Because our road to success is going to look like this. You know what I mean? It's going to be massive hills, massive valleys. And like we say all along, if we can be steady when people join, if we can be steady when people fail, and we just keep our eyes, have the grit and stay focused and plod, then we will, you become what you focus on, right? If you focus on your failure, that's where you're going to live. You become what you think. And so this is what needs to be trained. And the last thing she said was, we cannot compare ourselves to each other. What we have to do is differentiate ourselves from the market. All 11 of us, 12 of us on this call, we are all selling the same thing. We are all sharing about the same thing. And so what we need to do is we need to be ourselves authentically, because people are not going to buy, they're not buying Plexus, they're buying you. There's a bajillion people selling Plexus right now. So what you need to do is be you and differentiate yourself from the rest of the market, and be you bravely and be you authentically, because there's going to be people out there who track with you who do not track with me. So don't try to be somebody else. If you're an introvert, don't try to be an extrovert. If you're not Southern, don't say y'all. Just be you, and be you authentically, be you bravely, because people will buy you and people love you and people trust you. And we want to be known across the board. This team here, we want to be known as honest, trustworthy, a team of integrity, a team who loves each other, a team who supports each other. And after that, man, just go out and be wild, be you, do what you do best. And we'll cheer you on. You know, we'll, like Lisa said in the beginning, we will be each other's loudest cheerleaders. That's what I want us to be known for. So I thought that was really good. She was talking to network marketers across the board, not just Plexus, but I thought that was really, really good. Practical, good wisdom. So those are my takeaways. Lise, do you want to talk details? Do you want me to talk details?
Yeah. What? I'm good, right? Can you guys hear me?
A little bit.
Can you not hear now? Am I on?
Oh, yep, it's on my end.
So yeah, we are excited about some of the things that we want to start doing. And one of those things are power half hours. And so that's something that we're looking at doing. We'd like to start this week. So Amy, when are you going to be doing yours? And we're going to actually, on our Pink Hope IPA chat thread, we'll start putting some of those times down, and we're going to be talking about creating those. But do you want to talk about like the time slots?
Yeah, I think that we could probably start and do like a conversation thread too, or maybe we could make a graphic on the What It Takes paid.
Okay.
The idea was that, well, it would be cool if we could do on Monday through Friday every day, but maybe start out with 3 or 4, where one of us, whoever's brave, takes turns. We take turns hosting like a power half hour. So like I will do this week, Monday at 8. That's probably what I'll do, but we'll put it for sure. We'll make a graphic on our team page. So at 8 o'clock, I'm going to put a Zoom link in our thread, and anyone who's home, if that time works for you, hop on. And I'll just essentially moderate it. It'll be a half hour long. I'll open it with maybe just like a little word of encouragement, a prayer, I don't know, something little. And then we'll do like really, really simple 10 minutes of like authentic commenting on people's posts in our feed who are not Plexus people, because we want to start building relationships with people that aren't just in our Plexus circle. 10 minutes of reach outs and 10 minutes of follow-ups. Boom, boom, boom. In, out, done. Do you know what I mean? So, and I think Renee's willing to host one. Do you know what time you're thinking of hosting one?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I'm here. Wednesdays at 8:30.
AM or PM?
What's that? 8:30 p.m.
PM. Okay.
Yep.
I know we're putting you guys right on the spot, but if there's anybody who's comfortable, honestly, all you're having to do is essentially kind of moderating a Zoom. But sometimes some people love just to be able to see each other and kind of work together, to bounce ideas off each other, to say, hey, how would you reach out to so-and-so? What would you say? Or this is what I'm saying, does it sound good? Or I just got a response from somebody, how should I respond? You know, it's sometimes, you know, some people don't love ideas. It's for people who kind of feel like we need it, you know, walk alongside and kind of feel like we're kind of working together as a team. A lot of us don't live beside each other and can't go to a coffee shop and do it together. So we've got a morning one, we've got an evening one. When we put a graphic up, unless you know off the top of your head now that you'd like to host one and you're willing and you have a time, shout it out. Love you, babe. Otherwise, comment underneath that graphic, and it'd be nice to do something where we can kind of set it in stone, where we know every week these are the times, these are power half hours, and it gives you opportunities, almost every day to hop on. Night, babe. Love you. Does anybody is anybody willing to think about it? Maybe hosting one? Sue King, I see that head you shaking. I see that. Anybody? Okay, think about it. Okay. John Maxwell says, and Jessica Heffley says, you do the scary things, right? To raise your leadership lid, you do things that are scary. And those of you who have little teams underneath you who are contemplating maybe reaching out and sharing, you could do one of these and specifically invite your people. Say, hey, tomorrow morning at 9, let's get on a Zoom together and let's spend a half hour and just kind of reach out to our friends, or however you want to word it. Don't make it sound scary. You know what I mean? But it's way scarier. It's way less scary than it sounds. So we'll make a graphic for that, because Lisa, you're going to host one too, right?
I am too. Yep. And I know Becca is also going to host one. So yeah. And we could do, just because there's one on one day, if there's another time during that day that you want to host one, we will pack in as many and we'll put that right, on our thread and the team page so people can hop on at different times. That would be really ideal if we had them every day, all through the day, different times. So
Megan Goff said that when she felt stagnant, when she stagnated wherever she was, and it's been at different levels in her journey, that's what she did. She did little pockets of IPA, with little pockets of different teams. She would spend little coffee dates if they were local, or Zooms if they weren't. And so we want to offer that to you guys too. A lot of teams are doing now what they call, I don't know if the guys would want to call it this, but launch parties, where if you've got a whole handful of people that are kind of on the fence, or you're talking to about Plexus, and you're just, you have questions or they have questions, we could set up a Zoom with either Lisa or I or both of us together. And essentially you could have all of your people that you're talking to, we could get on, share our story. They could ask any questions that they have. We could, talk a little bit about the products, talk a little bit about Plexus itself, give them a little taste of what could be as far as the business side or getting products paid for. And really almost be like an online sip and see, or an online launch for all the people that you are talking to. If that's something that you would like to do, message us and we would love to do that for you. Our heart this month, as we're entering into the fall, is to really be more available to you guys, to our whole team, for whatever your goals are, whatever you want to do. We want to be there and help you do that. To kind of not always just be the one blob of pink hope, but if Denise, you've got your little team who wants to do something, we want to do it with you and your team, or whatever you feel your needs are. We want to be available and do that. Do you know what I mean?
And with some of the launch, I'm sorry.
Go.
With some of the launch parties and also the IPA power half hours, even if there are only 2 people, that is still great. Yeah. So don't think, oh gosh, I don't have 10 people. No worries. Sometimes it's more effective, especially with the launch parties or little Zooms. Sometimes they're more effective with less people. People are more vulnerable. They'll feel like they can open up and talk and get their questions answered. So that actually works to your advantage. And then we also were talking about coaching calls, and some of you, whether it's through Marco Polo or face-to-face, if that's available, or phone chats. Amy and I are both available to do that individually, together, however we can work it, but we want to make ourselves available to you, and we can do whatever level of a coaching call that you guys want. We've got lots of questions, and I had some great training at convention this year at the Jewel training, and so I've got my hands on some of that, and so we're going to have that available to use for you guys, and so that's another layer of just helping us grow and help you guys feel supported. So make sure that you reach out to us if that's something that you are wanting from us, because we're happy to do that.
And 2 things really quick, just to keep in front of all of us. How many of you are shooting for the Super Silver $100 bonus this month? I know that Beth is. Love you, sweetie. Night, sweetie. Beth is. I know that a couple of you, I know Denise could maybe get it. So it's just to put it before you. Super silver is 50. It's halfway between silver and gold. It's 50 points. It's 10 people on your team. You don't have to have all of those 10 added personally. If you get it this month, Plexus will give you $100, and they'll give you an additional $100 next month if you retain it. But if you don't get it till next month, Plexus will still give you $75 and another 75 the following month if you retain. And if you don't get it until October, Plexus will still give you $50 and another $50 if you retain it the following month. So even if you think, whoa, it's nowhere near within my grasp this month, yes, 50 points. Then you have 3 months where Plexus will still give you cash, which normally there's no cash for halfway between silver and gold. So because they're aware from silver to gold is a big jump. It is so hard to get there. To this day, gold is the rank I am most proud of because it was so hard to get there. So that's from Plexus. And then from us, we are repeating the momentum makers that our Sue King earned last month. She was the only one who earned it. That is, you help one of your level ones go silver, and then you add 3 personal level ones yourself in a month. So anybody can do it. It takes work for sure. But the goal is, a good goal to shoot for is to go silver over and over again every single month, adding 3 level ones yourself, and then help one of your people to go silver as well. So $100 if you do that. So that's kind of fun. And if you're not super silver yet, you can earn both of those things, which is cool, which is what Danielle, I think she hopped off, but that's what she's shooting for, which is really, really cool. So that's what I have. Sue, do you had some questions about the super silver? Yes, 10 people. Yeah. And you have to have not been super silver already. They did that a while back, several months back, and I know a few people earned it back then, so you can't earn it again a second time. Amanda, I see that hand.
So they are counting new enrollments as mock points.
Yes, they are.
So say you had 7 from previous months and they all order in this month, and you get 3 newbies this month, no matter what level. 1 has to be your own level 1, but the other 2 could be level 2s or 3s. You still hit it. They're counting them as mock points for the super silver.
Yes, very, very good. Yeah. So that's that. And then we'll put on the What It Takes page itself as well. I don't know if you saw on the One Team page, there's going to be like a little 4-day IPA blitz that we're going to jump on with the big one team. It's called Work Like a Turtle, not focusing on working slowly, but focusing on working steadily. So it's a really quick little 4-day blitz. And then it's a 3 or 4-day skin soiree. I actually don't fully know all the details, but it's similar to what we've just done, only it's much more shortened, like a 3 or 4-day thing. So if you want to participate in that, we'll put the information on our What It Takes page, but we'll participate over on the One Team page. There are prizes, good prizes that Megan is giving to people. She's putting if you even just get one person to participate in the challenge with you, your name goes into a drawing for like swag, gift cards, a bag of Slam Bagaline. So it's kind of cool. The only thing, you would have to get some Joyome samples to sell to your people. Buy a bag of samples and sell them like we did the last time. So you would get your money back, but you would need to order that soon. Any questions about that? Did I miss any details? Good.
I think it's good.
Okay. I think that's all I have for tonight from my end.
Yep, that's all I have too. So it's good, guys. We're going to finish the month strong. I'll upload this team call so that you can share with your teams tomorrow. And we're going to also post that graphic for the IPA Power half hours, so we can get that scheduled. And then we can probably just do like a calendar graph once we get everybody's time slots in, so that everybody will know how that's rolling out and we'll be aware.
And we're meeting with Megan and the rest of the jewels on One Team to kind of map out September. We're trying to see what Megan's doing with all of One Team before we kind of make our plan, so that we can kind of coincide with One Team, whether or not we want to choose to do our own smaller thing along with them, but kind of try to coincide the same date so that people aren't ping-ponging in their brains with so many things, so many options. So does anyone have prayer requests? We can pray for you guys this week. Our van died. That's one I have.
Yes.
Anybody else have anything?
Everybody? All right. Well, we are, and Amy's going to get her car. So we know what kind of vehicle she needs to replace her van, right? We're going to be working on that one. What'd you say?
Be a one-car family until then. I will not get another vehicle.
It's coming, sister. It's coming. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tonight, for hopping on, and we will see you tomorrow on our page. Thanks. Mwah.
Mwah.
Love to all.